Hey Scorpio, welcome to the Cosmic Jackal Tarot. I'm your host and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Flower Blood Moon Eclipse reading. Oh my gosh. It's a lot, isn't it? And then we have Mercury retrograde, Pluto retrograde, which will be separate readings. I just want to give small updates before I get into your guys' reading so I don't get carried away with it later. I have made a TikTok, and with that TikTok, it will be for a couple of things. Hold on, I have a mosquito here that I've been trying to kill, and it's finally sitting still. So hopefully shit. Oh wait, I think I killed it. I may have. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I will be doing a reading, but there will be it's just one card for an oracle pull or something. So basically a daily reading a day, and I'll do snippets of my readings if I can help it, and you guys can see previews of what's to come. Excuse me. So with that being said, Mowgli, my dog, he also has a TikTok and an Instagram. All this is in my link tree down below. Now, another announcement, if you guys are interested, if you go to music festivals, I don't know if any of my followers are going to Imagine Fest, but I am one of the promoters, and I just recently got this opportunity. So I just want to let you guys know that I do have a code below if you guys would like to save some money on your tickets. If you haven't gotten them yet, I will be there. So I may be bringing my tarot cards. I'm pretty sure I will be, and I'll see you guys there. We'll work that out. Other than that, what else is going on? I did get a new deck, but I don't know. My energy has been a little bit different after the eclipse had happened. When the moon turned red and everything, I was watching it most of the time, not all of it, but I did get to see the shadow take form, and then when it started to turn red, it was pretty cool. So Scorpio, the moon was in your it was in your sign that night, and some of you know, some of you don't know, I do have a Scorpio rising, but I also have my Pluto in Scorpio, and I will make a separate video about it. But my experience of sitting with that moon was very healing and it was transforming. I remember having a conversation with the moon, telling it, hey, there's something I'm holding on to. I don't know what it is, but I feel it's a lot of times it's something that keeps me from moving forward. It keeps me stagnant. It keeps me indecisive. It keeps me insecure. And I don't know. I was just wondering if there's any way I could just give that in exchange. I don't know. It's weird because it's the moon, right? But I was sitting there feeling it was okay to just be open with it. And I'm I don't want to be this scared person that's afraid to do things on their own. I know I haven't really always been, but I want to wake up and really take accountability and control of that power that everybody says I have potential for. So how do I get to that? What is it inside of me that's holding me back? And the moon was okay. And it felt kind of when you walk into a room after being out in the sun, or it's a hot day, and then you go into a house or something, and then it has AC and it's perfect. You just feel refreshed and chilled, but not freezing cold. It's just kind of it feels nurturing, and there's a part of you that just feels better. You feel your shoulders relax and everything. And I feel that might be what you're feeling right now, Scorpio, where you're I don't even know what I was tripping about. I feel great. Well, that moon made me feel that way, and it took a lot of things about me and just sent it somewhere else. It was energy that was recycled. Okay, you don't want it anymore? Well, I will take that from you and give it to whoever it's meant to go to, or I will transform it into something else, I feel sometimes we also get to a point where we've held on to something for so long, it seems a shame to let it go. What if we lose our identity? What if we lose our sense of self? What if we don't learn everything we're meant to learn? What if this is meant to like we're meant to see it some sort of way. It came to us for a reason, right? But a lot of times we don't even realize we're being selfish, holding on to something that is meant for something else or someone else, in a sense. So Scorpio, if you've been feeling kind of lost, it's because there's something that you've healed from, and you probably haven't even noticed that you healed from it. You released it, you let it go. For some of you it was in your sleep, for some of you it was through meditation, some of you it's just because of life. You know, like you got so much going on, why hold on to shit that makes you feel dead inside? So I'm gonna go with your Moonology manifestation real quick and see what I can pull for you guys. But yeah, thank you for that energy, Scorpio. I know that wasn't really in your control, but you being a sign that can heal and transform and do all these amazing things, I don't feel like you give yourself enough credit for that. You have last quarter moon in Aries. Work through your feelings. I feel like some of the healing you're meant to do is because of trauma that you've experienced with other people who aren't even in your life anymore, but maybe you haven't been able to reconcile, or you just haven't been able to forgive yourself. There was no closure. So of course you're holding on to things because you don't really know how to let them go. Sometimes, Scorpio, you tend to wait for the other person to say something so you can feel validated, and when that doesn't happen when you think it should, you can turn either destructive or you start to self-sabotage, because it's like, without meaning to, sometimes your confidence comes from how others see you. It's a mask. You don't know how to take it off because you don't even know that you're wearing one. You've been wearing it so long you think it's your real face. But you know, you're not a sign whose emotions are very easy to read. With you, Scorpio, people are afraid to express how they feel because you're a sign that speaks very venomous truth. And maybe you don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. Maybe you don't mean anything ill. If y'all notice, when I exhaled, no smoke came out. I guess I just swallowed it. Fuck. So, some of you may be feeling as if you're going through imposter syndrome. Do you feel that way? That you're not good enough? That your life is a lie and you're eluding others and they're in on your secrets? Is that how you feel, Scorpio? If you do, it might be true. Maybe you've been living a life of facade, acting like you're better than everybody, like you know everything, but then you finally reached a point where you don't know everything. You're not feeling as confident because maybe you failed to do your own research on something and you acted irrationally about something, or you just jumped the gun on something, and then now everybody sees that you too have a weakness for being impulsive, and you don't always fact check. You try to, but then there's times where you speak without thinking. You react without getting everything together. You know, if this was court and you had to present evidence, there wouldn't really be a need for retrial or moving on to the next section, because it's like, well, Scorpio, you didn't even, like, we're asking you, you didn't prepare for any of this? You know, like, you're just happy, like, just living your life, grabbing what you can because it looks like something you can present, but you don't really put everything in motion. So of course it's not going to work. And for you, Scorpio, you might be feeling some type of way, but work through your feelings and make sure you're taking accountability for the fact that you're not always right, but at the same time you have your flaws too, and you have to work on them. You can't be focused on what everybody else needs to work on. Focus on what you need to work on. You're your own competition. And you can't force everybody into perfection. Like, if you want to live life perfectly and you have OCD and you want to do things a certain way, go do that on your own, all right? But you cannot force people to do things, think things, and act or react to things the same way that you would. Just go over there with that. Nobody wants to deal with that. All right, so I have gotten a new deck for you guys, and it's the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. Eventually I'm going to get like a spirit guide deck for animals, and I thought that would be pretty neat for you guys, for those who do enjoy animals and you feel like you can probably vibe better off with a animal totem than you can with like a regular tarot deck. So I like to have variety for you guys. And yeah, I'm putting a lot of investing into this channel, despite the fact that I know for some of you, you only have 60 followers, like it's not that serious. And it's like, yeah, but I'm really grateful for all my followers. I didn't think I would get this many followers until like later on in the year, but I am seeing that with consistency, motivation, and just like trying to go forward. But without you guys, before I even finish that sentence, yeah, everything is coming together, but without you guys supporting me to this day, it's just a dream. So I want to say shout out to you guys. I really appreciate you for sticking around. You have Jaguar. If you guys have not, have you guys seen Apocalypto? Let me show you something. I'm so in love with Jaguar Paul. That he's my screensaver. He has been for like a few months, but I don't really know the actor like that, but this person as a character, oh my god. Oh my god, like, I don't know, maybe he existed at one point, but like whoever, if that person exists as a spirit and they're just wandering around, I'm just like, yeah, I want to be with you. If you haven't seen the movie Apocalypto, check it out. But yeah, like when I hear Jaguar or anything, you know, I think of him and I'm like, yeah, it's daddy. Anyways, sorry. So let's see what you have. So for this deck, I do have to pull out the book, but let me explain why. There are some parts in here where it tells you why you're attracting this energy, how to heal, what you need to heal, and like why certain people come to you, like what you're being invited towards, you know. So we have the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. Some of them sound obvious, right? So the essence is, what is it about you? What is it that you have going on that you are attracting this card, or it's attracted to you? The Jaguar is the protector of all life in the Amazon. I'm sorry. Okay. And in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Okay, so it's not Jaguar Bro because it's a female. Okay. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the ways beyond death, and it is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, night and day. I had a dream some time ago that me and my last partner were living in a jungle with his kids and our dog that, you know, we got. But it was like somewhere in the future, and it kind of felt like we weren't really on this planet. But in that dream, there was a jaguar. My partner at the time, he was laying his head on my shoulder. Well, you know what? Story time. I'll just tell you guys. So me and my ex, we split for various reasons. I want to be honest. I can't say for their side, but we just didn't really mesh well. But they left kind of, I get it, you know, and I've accepted we both just had things we weren't healing from, and we took them out on each other. But I feel like one of us was expecting the other, and vice versa, to just get their shit together and lead the way, but we didn't know what we were doing. We were used to other people leading, so it was very strange, you know. But I figured with my, like, everything I've been through and with the knowledge that I had, I could, like, probably influence and lead them in a certain way. Like, hey, I just don't want you to get hurt doing things the way that I thought made sense to me at the time. I just want to make sure you're good. And they didn't want to hear it, or, you know. But then they come back with, like, you were right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just sorry that I was right. But now you know for the future. And maybe somewhere out there they're doing okay. But in the dream, you know, I was dreaming that I was a spirit, like you could see through me and everything. Maybe I astral projected, but I was like wandering around, and I saw my ex like walking, and he was followed by 2 children, but at first I didn't recognize who they were until I'm like, oh, so this is sometime in the future in a sense, because they were like older, and then he was holding something in his arms, and I'm like, is it a baby? I couldn't really tell, but it wound up being, he wrapped up my dog in a blanket, and I guess they went out to go foraging and hunting and whatnot for food, and he had my dog, or our dog, I guess mine now, because it doesn't check on the dog or anything. I haven't spoken to him for over a year. So he's going towards this house, and it's a small house, and he opens the door, and there's me. I'm right there cooking. He opens the door, and he's like, hey, so he pulled, like, he had a book bag on. I didn't even realize that, but he took it, put it on the floor, and unzipped it. And, like, eventually he did put the dog down. That's how I knew the dog was in the blanket. So he's, like, running outside with the kids, and the kids are outside playing with each other. So he has a son who's the oldest, and then his daughter, I only really knew his daughter, but he told them all to, go outside and play. And then he was like, hey, so this is all I could find while I was out foraging. Like, do you think this is enough for some meals, or, like, for tonight? I'm pretty sure he was, like, talking about the meal that I was making at the time. And, I'm over the stove. I think I was, like, making a stew or something. And he pulls out, like, some fruits and vegetables and some nuts that he found, and some other various things. I think he found, like, some fish, too. But, this dream happened about a year ago. So he's like, I looked, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's more than enough. I'm like, I'm really happy you went out and did that. But he just looks so tired, and I'm like, well, hey, the meal isn't gonna be ready if you want to sit outside and just rest. Like, let's just go check on the kids. So we were sitting outside, and he laid his head in my lap, and I was, like, playing through his hair. He had, like, really long, beautiful hair. It was weird because, like, it looked like it was dreaded in the dream, but I'm just, like, massaging his scalp in a sense, and he's, like, just laying there with his eyes closed, and he's like, hey, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, I just wanted to thank you for not giving up on me. I really appreciated that all these years. And I was like, oh man, of course I'm never gonna give up on you. But, it's not like he'll ever see this or anybody associated with him, but no, I never did really. It's not that I gave up on him. I just wanted better. And I don't think he saw it that way, even in the end. I think he just thought, like, I just wanted life my way. And I'm like, no, I don't know how to be in a relationship with another person who doesn't know what they want, but I'd be feeling bad, man. I don't know how to sit still. So I just keep thinking, like, maybe I can come up with some sort of thing to manifest us having a good life, but maybe it's just me who wants it. No offense. I don't think he wanted a bad life, but I just wanted something where I don't have to stress about, like, eating at fast food restaurants all the time because that's all I can afford, but knowing I'm killing my body, and, I want a house. I don't want to have to rent for the rest of my life. I want my credit to be good. I want to travel, but I can't say I knew what he wanted. And then I realized, like, sometime in there, maybe I just didn't know him as well as I thought I did. But that's okay, too, because we're always changing. So, Scorpio, maybe you can relate to that, because maybe to you, other people look at you as this warrior. Like, you have it all figured out, and you've allowed them to do so. You don't want people to think that you're somebody who can't handle yourself, or isn't very confident. At times you can be, but there are times where you feel kind of small and unheard, and, like, maybe you don't matter nearly as much as people try to make it seem. But as a hunter and a person who stays in the shadows and watches others, it's like it's a fate you've put to yourself, and you don't really know how to stop, because there are times where you do want to be social and be open and have a good time, but some people you can only put at a distance, or you can hang out with them very sparingly because maybe they're very energetic and you're somebody who your social battery runs out pretty fast. Sometimes we don't know people as well as we think we do. Or sometimes we don't know ourselves as much as we think we do, and we expect others to figure it out for us or to tell us their perspective. If we don't like it, that's okay. It just means we can fix it or work on it. But if you ask how people think or what they feel, don't get mad when they tell you, because you're asking for the truth. Like, come on, man. So you have nothing to worry about, in a sense, with this coming towards you. If anything, it just shows that you're a strong, capable person. But even strong people do get lonely sometimes and a little weak. You've seen Encanto, right? Alright, so the invitation. Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places you have been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your jaguar instinct will serve you well. So the invitation would be, why do you attract certain people to you or certain energies towards you? And from what I'm getting here, sometimes people like a mysterious person. And you wonder a lot of times, Scorpio, why does such and such want to be around me? Like, I'm not very expressive, and I'm kind of grumpy and rude. I don't like to, like, I say how I feel. I'm very blunt. Why does this person want to be around me? Like, I feel like I hurt their feelings a lot, but they laugh it off. And maybe, Scorpio, you know, sometimes people just like you and they don't question why they like you. With my ex, I didn't question why I liked them. I didn't look for reasons why I liked them. I just did. And that can be a bad thing for some people, but when I was around him, he felt like home, a safe place. I liked the way his skin felt. I loved how his hair was. I feel like I manifested him. He kind of looked like Jaguar Paul. But, you know, and come to find out, we both loved Apocalypto. But when I wanted to watch it with him, we never got to. And that's something I had always wanted to do, mostly because it's like, hey, I just want to get your opinion on some of these scenes, because I've only watched this movie alone most of the time. But I really like how he thought about things and how he saw things. But me wanting to get to know his way of thinking, it bothered him a lot of the time. And I'd be like, now, is it the questions I'm asking and how I'm trying to hang out with you an issue, or is it just me as a person trying to mingle with you and be on your level? Is that what's irritating? Maybe you do. Sometimes when people don't fuck with you, everything you do is annoying to them, unfortunately. There's people that annoy the fuck out of me, and I know they're trying to be genuine and hang out, but something about their energy just makes me upset. So, like, maybe you feel that way too, where it's like, I know that person means well, I just don't like their energy. That's okay, you know, but communicate that with them. Let them know what it is. You know, maybe they're willing to hear you out. Not everything that you gotta say is gonna hurt somebody's feelings. I mean, it will, but like from time to time, but that's out of your control. What I'm really trying to say is you can't control how the person feels. But if they still fuck with you even after you've said all these really cruel and hurtful things that you perceive to be cruel, you don't really know how they're actually taking it. But that's a real person. Someone who can be accountable and whatnot. Like, if you're telling them something and they listen and they're like, okay, I'll behave accordingly, there's no real effort needed on your part. They're just gonna do what they do, you know? So Scorpio, I mean, it's okay that you are who you are. Some of you are grumpy, some of you are open, some of you are reserved, some of you just like to have fun and be silly and not live life through a script. That's totally okay. Maybe that's also why you're drawing a lot of genuine people, that they're warriors too, you know? Like, you guys could probably just be in a tribe together. I don't see why not. So as far as the medicine, that's what you're meant to heal, or what you're holding on to that you need to let go of. What in your life needs to be released? You can't say I lied, right? Because that's the first word. That's the first line there. What have you carried around with you for too long, which is ready to be let go of once and for all? Jaguar medicine is available to heal the fear so you can allow it to go. It's time to come out of the shadows and end the shadow games that you have unconsciously agreed to play. I told y'all about that. The facade, the mask. Yep, sure did. Call on Jaguar to unfetter you from toxic relationships and recover your natural instinct for the right people and situations. Alright, so I didn't even tell you guys about the part where the Jaguar came into my dream, but I looked up because I felt something was watching me. Now, in the dream, something else did watch me, but like, I'm gonna do a story time to tell you guys about this entire dream. Now, you know what? I look up in the dream because I realized that something was watching me. Like my ex, he was sleeping very peacefully. The kids were playing, but I looked up and I saw this Jaguar just chilling up in the trees. It didn't look like it was gonna attack or nothing. It just seemed like it was observant. I wasn't scared. I didn't feel the need to freak out. I'm just like, oh, hey. The Jaguar I perceived as one of my Libra friends that we're no longer friends anymore, but they still are somebody that's very important to me, and in this life at least. But I look up at the Jaguar and I'm like, hey, is that you? And I asked, you know, I called out my friend's name, and the Jaguar like kind of purred, but it like, it's looking at me and it's like, kind of like, yeah. And I'm like, are you watching over us? Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, well, thank you. But see, that person didn't really like my ex. They were very protective of me and hated the way that my ex would like talk to me or react or, you know, certain things. And when we split, so many people were happy, but I felt like I made a horrible decision. Like, I felt kind of like, you know what, this didn't have to go the way that it did, but if it didn't, I feel like it just would have been a matter of time before we've split in another way. There's not a lot of ways this could have gone good, but I am glad nobody was hurt or, you know, it wasn't anything like that. But I feel like if things continue, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be making this channel. I wouldn't be on the path of life that I am right now. And it's not their fault. It's not like they were holding me back per se, but the way that I felt, the way that I allowed myself to behave in their energy, it was going nowhere. So in a sense, it's like, hey, well, maybe we need to release each other for a while. Maybe we could be friends again, but I don't want to delude myself into thinking that. In fact, I'm just to a point where I think maybe one day we could run into each other and be okay with being around each other, but for right now, I don't know. You know, I feel like they left thinking very hateful, mean, hurtful things, but I hope they know, like, spiritually, I never really wanted anything bad to happen. I was just tired, and I felt like nothing would ever change. But Scorpio, you're probably feeling like that too, where maybe you've had to let go of a lot of people and you're sad because it's like, well, how many more people do I need to let go of? And maybe even there's times you think maybe it's you. Could be, but maybe it's not that you're attracting people that are bad for you because you're a bad person, but maybe there's things about you that you don't need to live your life a certain way anymore. Maybe it's time for you to get to a point where you accept that you've made your mistakes and you've said some things, you've done some things, but you're no longer that person. So in order to stop these people from coming into your life, you got to stop that for yourself. You got to own up to who you really are and what you really want. And it's okay to let go of old patterns and tell yourself right here and now, I'm no longer that person. That's what I had to go through. And now when people come at me funny, accusing me of shit or whatever, I'm like, oh, you must be looking for the old me. She ain't here no more. Alright, so Scorpio, that's your reading. I hope it resonated. And if it did, make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, comment. Let me know what you liked, how you're feeling, all that good stuff. If it didn't resonate, that's totally okay. Maybe this is for a completely different Scorpio or somebody with Scorpio in their chart. Or maybe you're watching for a Scorpio, and if that's the case, I don't need to know. Please don't tell me. Other than that, if you guys are interested in following me on other social media, you can find my link tree down below, and you know, all kinds of ways to follow me now. I just made a TikTok, for God's sakes. But other than that, I will see you guys in your next few readings. And I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for supporting my channel. Yes, I'm like right there at 60 subscribers, but I really meant it earlier when I said I would not have any of this if it wasn't for you guys supporting me. So you're my world, you're my heart, and thank you for making me feel like I'm in a place where I can open up and just be myself and share these messages with you without feeling like I need to, like, you know, just put on a facade or something, or like I have to go through 10 years of doing tarot to feel like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so you guys enjoy yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading or in one of my spiritual vlogs that are coming up. Love you guys. Take care. Have a good one.